You're someone with a vision for your practice, for your side hustle, and for your personal journey. But when it comes to establishing your path on how to get to where you want to be with your practice, things get a little messy. You're also someone who'd prefer to go in person instead of to groups and listening to everyone else's story. To me, it sounds like you could benefit from one-on-one consulting with our experienced practice of the practice consultants. From $5.95 a month and up, you can work with a consultant that will give you more direction and practical tried and tested tips matched to you and your goals. For more information, visit practiceofthepractice.com/apply. Again, that's practiceofthepractice.com/apply. This is the Practice of the Practice podcast with Joe Sana, session number 1287. Welcome to the Practice of the Practice podcast. I am Joe Sanok, your host, where we help you build a thriving private practice you absolutely love. We are so excited to have you here today, hanging out with us. Now, back in May of 2025, we put on the Group Practice Conference. And at this conference, I had this dream of putting on a conference that was unlike any other. I wanted the feeling to be like connections, that people had time to meet each other. I always hated conferences where the parts that I love the most, probably getting dinner with new people or having drinks at the end of the evening, that part was so small in the calendar. And I spent most of my time just running between breakout sessions and keynotes and all of that. And the other side of it was oftentimes it felt like I would be in a session and it'd be a 90-minute session. And I really only got about 10 to 20 minutes worth of content. There's a lot of fluff in there. It just felt like get to the point. And so for what we decided to do with the Group Practice Conference was we decided that we would have 20-minute sessions on the main stage, all of our keynotes, 20 minutes, and that we would have ample time for breakout sessions, and to have time to dig in, to talk about group practice, to get to know people, and to encourage people that if they're having a great conversation, keep that going. You don't have to come back in. Continue those conversations going. And so we found that the folks that came to the Group Practice Conference in May had such a great time. They felt emotionally connected to other group practice owners. And it was just such a great event that we've tripled the size for May of 2026. We're going to be over at Northwestern Michigan College, right on their campus. And we're partnering with both Headway and the Student Life Department to put this on. And our main stage is going to be where the actual TED Talks of Traverse City take place. And then all of our discussions and our kind of digging deeper sessions are going to be throughout an art gallery. It's going to be just such a fun, unique event that we're super excited about. And lots of you weren't able to make the Group Practice Conference in 2025. And so we want to give you just a little glimpse into that. So we're going to be doing a series every week for a while throughout the end of the year where those 20-minute main stage sessions, we're going to be playing those for you. We want you to be able to learn from all of our speakers that we had, and we want you to get excited for the Group Practice Conference in May 2026. So we want you to get excited for this over at grouppracticeconference.com. That's where you can be on the waiting list so that when tickets go live on Black Friday through Cyber Monday, you can grab your ticket. We want you to get those discounts that we have. We want you to get any of those kind of lowest priced tickets. We know they're going to sell out fast. All of our sponsors have committed to sending emails to their list. And, Headway alone, who is our co-host of this, along with the Student Life Department over at NMC, has 60,000 people on their email list that are part of Headway. So we expect, the 300 or so tickets that we're offering to go quickly. So if this is something that you're interested in coming to Traverse City, we want to make sure you're on that wait list and ready to go on Black Friday so that you can get your ticket. We know they're going to go quickly. So head on over to grouppracticeconference.com and you can watch all the different things going on there and get on the wait list so that when that goes live, you get first access. So let's dive into this episode with some of our speakers from the Group Practice Conference in May 2025. Up next, we have Jaime Mills, who's going to be talking about dynamic marketing to ensure your referrals never, ever slow down. So I can't wait to hear this. It's going to never slow down. I can't wait. Come on up here, Jaime.
Thank you. Well, that's a big ask. Uh-oh. We'll see about that. So I'm Jaime. I want to say thank you, Joe and his team, for having me and for putting this on. And I do want to give a shout out to Kate, my amazing office manager, who is either running co-pays right now or on hold with Blue Cross Blue Shield as she's listening. And I get to talk about marketing today, and it's something that I have really learned to love in private practice. So I really want to see what I'm working with today. So raise your hand if you would say that you love marketing your private practice, if that's just a part that gives you life. Okay. Mostly, a few handful, maybe under 5. Okay, so cool. I got a lot to work with today. I got a lot of work to do, too. Okay, so this is how most people feel when it comes to marketing. Most of the therapists that I've worked with and the practices I've worked with, it's the thing that they dread. And with the industry how it is, in my opinion, it's the most essential part of a private practice, but it's right now the most neglected. And I see that because either therapists feel like they don't have time, or it seems like such an overwhelming task where they don't know how much time it's going to cost, they don't know how much money it's going to be, that they just tend to overlook it and procrastinate and never start. So I'm here to change that a little bit. And I want to tell you a little bit about me. There's my team in the corner, my cat in the other corner. He's entered the therapy room a little bit, so yes, I write off all of his whole lifestyle, basically. Don't come after me because I'm going to keep doing it. I graduated from Wayne State in 2019, opened a solo practice in February of 22, and by June of 22, I had my first 2 part-time hires. And now 3 years later, we have 2 locations, looking for a third, 25 clinicians, so we hit our 25th after I made the slides, and they have consistently full caseloads, and most of them are full-time. And I have 1 remote therapist, 1 virtual only, and she's also full. And that's on a marketing budget of less than $200 a month. I averaged out kind of what I spent the last couple years, $200. And our practice is on track to hitting multiple 7 figures this year. So I want to show you that you can do a lot of your marketing, and it doesn't have to be something you dread. I really want to make it simple, affordable, and attractive for therapists. And before we go any further, so this is marketing Jaime who's going to be talking to you today. But therapist Jaime just wants to remind you that, being here, even myself, it's easy to hear people's stories, size myself up with other practices. I'm not doing enough because someone has more therapists than me. That's just how my brain works. But it's easy to get in that. But I do want to remind you that what you have and what your practice has, you have something special to offer the world that no one else can. So whether you have 100 therapists or whether you are solo practice, somebody needs you. And I truly believe that marketing is something that is going to help the people who need you find you more easily. So to me, it's kind of, if you have that belief in yourself, it's going to be really easy to market. If you go into marketing with fear and self-doubt, people can sense that energy. Therapists aren't the only people who can sense that anxiety and nervousness when you're marketing. So marketing your practice does not have to break the bank, doesn't have to take an extreme amount of time. I probably spend 4 to 6 hours a month marketing. And you can do it in bits and pieces. It doesn't have to be this super 6-month strategy that you have to follow exactly. Because the reality is clients have way more options. And Joe talked about not being competitive, and that's true. But it's also true that there's more options for clients, the market's more saturated. So how can you stand out? And how can you use those other practices to your benefit and not view them as competition? Big corporations are capitalizing on mental behavioral health. I'm not going to mention any names. Doctors and hospitals, I've gone out and marketed, and a lot of doctors are offering in-house therapy now. So I went to a pediatrician, and they said, we might refer to you, but we just hired 2 therapists. So we have to get a little bit more creative about how we're going to stand out for the longevity of our practice. It's not an option anymore if you want long-term success. And if you have tons of referrals now, that's great. Some of these strategies I'm talking about can still be implemented to really sustain your practice and prepare for those referrals in 5 years, even if you have enough now. So the 3 areas of focus I'll be talking about is building your network with intention, making Google happy, and quick and easy website tips. I want to go over the who, what, when, and how. The who. So I want you to think, where are my potential clients at? Who are they talking to? Who's giving them referrals for mental health services? Doctors, other providers, schools, it could be churches, like Joe mentioned, it could be attorneys, dentists, funerals. The list really goes on, and you have to think personally, where are my potential clients at? For the sake of, I want to talk about doctors, I focus on primary care, OB, pediatrician, and psychiatrists and other psychologists. And the what? If you go in and bring a business card and say, "Hi, I'm Jamie, can you send me people?" and they never see you again and you give them a business card, I wouldn't expect to get anything out of that. So there is a strategy and an art to actually making those stops, and I want to give you a little bit of information about that. You really want to bring different marketing materials. And my rule of thumb is, what can I bring that they will see over and over again, right? They're not looking at a business card over and over again. They're going to be using a pen, notepads. You know, I saw someone had a thing of mints, right? Anything that will be usable that they will see. And you never want to go without a treat. These people do not owe you their time. They are not like therapists. They will give you the resting bee face. They will not even respond. They'll shut you out. They'll tell you they're busy. They're not all happy-go-lucky like we are. So you have to convince them that they should give you 10 seconds of their time. And it only takes 10 to 30 seconds where they're either shutting you in or they're shutting you out or they're giving you any time. So what I like to do, and I'll show you a couple examples in a moment, is anytime you go in, you want to bring a treat or candy. I like Lindor truffles because I have a circle logo. I'll put it on the middle. I brought poppy drinks. I brought Tim Hortons. I brought just anything you can think of. There aren't many rules to this, and I think this is a good opportunity for therapists to get creative. The only rule I would say is make it store-bought. Don't bring homemade cookies to a stranger. They're probably not going to eat them, and they're not going to keep seeing them. You want something that you can stick your logo on. Bringing treats, and also if you get a referral from them, give them a thank you card. Bring them a little thank you gift. Make it look nice. It gives you a reason to go back. Because sometimes when I go in for the first time, I'm like, what do I say? I don't really have a reason to go. But as soon as you get a referral, okay, well, now I'm going to go say thank you and make another point of contact. There's been times that I went in and I said thank you for the referrals, and they hadn't sent me anyone yet. Whatever. I'm speaking into the future. I'm manifesting it. So a thank you card, a gift. When do you want to go? I typically recommend, research shows that no one's going to remember you until 3 points of contact. So what I recommend, especially for busy therapists, is go once a month for 3 months and then go quarterly. I was telling Sam, who I came here with, I had an office manager text me yesterday and say, hey, can you come bring in more script pads? The doctors want to send more, and we ran out. And I had visited them, it was after that third time in the third month, that now I'm going in, and she's like, oh, the doctor was just asking about you. So those multiple times, really just showing your face and showing them, hey, I'm not just trying to get something from you, I'm bringing something to you, and that starts with that first initial treat or something that they would like to get at the office. And then after that, it's kind of, I call it a quarterly blitz. So Halloween, I did a Halloween-themed distribution drop-offs for the doctors that I chose, and then I'll show you a couple that I did. But those are really helpful because then you can pick a couple of doctors, and I don't recommend picking 10 to 20 doctors that you go drop off stuff once. Pick 1 to 3. I know a lot of you are so busy. Pick one. Go in once a month. It doesn't have to be exactly at the 31 days. It could be 2 weeks, 4 weeks. We're therapists. We're more abstract. This is a strategy, but it can still be abstract in what works with your time.
If you're growing a group practice, you know how much time and energy it takes to keep your clinicians licensed in multiple states and keep up with renewals and CE requirements. That's where a Finer Framework comes in, your trusted partner for mental health licensure. A Finer Framework partners with mental health group practice owners to handle multi-state licensing, license renewals, and track continuing education, so you and your team can stay focused on serving clients, not buried in paperwork. Whether you're onboarding new hires, expanding your telehealth reach, or planning to grow into new states, they make the entire licensing process smooth and stress-free. Join the hundreds of clinicians that already trust a Finer Framework to save time and headaches. Visit afinerframework.org/Joe Sanok today to learn more. That's afinerframework.org/Joe Sanok. Licensing support made simple.
And how? Like I said, you want to provide something of value. So what can I do for this person versus what I want them to do for me? For example, I've researched psychiatrists and I've gone in, and this is the one who texted me yesterday. And I said, hey, I'm a local psychotherapy clinic. We don't offer psychiatry. I looked on your website. You guys have amazing reviews. I'm looking for a psychiatrist to refer to who I can trust. I'm the owner. I want to send my clients somewhere that I can trust for med management. Within a couple weeks, we're getting referrals from them because they asked about, do you do DBT? Do you do EMDR? We don't do psychotherapy, so we'd love to also refer to psychotherapy. It's not rocket science, but it takes effort and it takes creativity and intention. Here's an example of a flyer that I made on Canva, and I highlighted 4 different therapists that have openings in my practice. And I made a notepad, and then that's my thank you card that I'll send, and I'll write my cell and sign my name and make it really custom. Here's my spring marketing blitz where I bought probably $100 worth of Girl Scout cookies, put our sticker on them, put them in a cute bag, notepad, pen, and then that was another time that I filled up, I think that was the summer or something, where I put our nice bags, logos, things like that. And that matters to people. When these office managers are stuck in a stressful job 9 to 5, people light up at a candy bar. I had someone, this older, I don't know if I should say this, but she was older and she's like, I love dark chocolate. It's better than sex. And I haven't had sex in 30 years. It made her day that I brought her chocolate. And to me, that matters in building those relationships. I want to talk about making Google happy. And when I talk about Google, what I'm talking about is Google business page. Now, raise your hand if you have a Google business page. Most people, I figured. I actually looked at some of your Google pages, and you're not doing everything you can. Sorry. So I'm going to show you other things that you can do. It's currently one of the top places that clients are looking for a therapist. Now, if that changes, we'll have to adapt, right? But this is where we're at now in the industry. Currently the top. I have searched hundreds of therapy businesses on Google, and most aren't optimizing this tool. It's free. If you don't have one, I don't have time to go over how to make one, but it's pretty simple, and if you want, you can connect with me. I'll help you create one today. So what can you do to build rapport with Google? Well, I use the word rapport because that is a skill that us therapists, that's the number one skill we're supposed to have. So I want you to, for one, treat Google like a friend that you're getting to know or a client that you're getting to know. If you're on there one time and create it, what happens if you only see a client one time or if you only get coffee with a friend one time? You're not truly going to get to know that person to be able to want to refer and rank them to other people that you know. And really treat Google like a social media page. To me, I'm on Google more than I'm on Instagram, more than I'm on Facebook. Instagram and Facebook don't have those search platform like Google does. And Google has so many features that you can post every day, every other day, monthly, and really increase your rankings and stand out with the other people, against other people in your area. And here's how you can do that. Add new pictures monthly, weekly, daily. Add a new picture when you're waiting at your dentist. Add a new picture while you're sitting here if you're bored of what I'm saying already. me and Sam were adding pictures to our Pinterest business profiles while we were waiting for this to start. So there are little things you can do over time that snowball and really add up to market and promote your practice and to get seen by the people who need you. You can add daily or weekly updates, a text, an image. It's honestly like any other social media right now. Filling out services and products page are super important. You want to do that to completion, similar to Psychology Today that gives you prompts. There are areas in the Google business that you can go out and search. I've even asked myself Q&As on my Google profile because we wanted to increase our telehealth referrals. So I went into my Google business page, asked my own question to my own business and said, do you offer virtual therapy? And I said, yes, we do offer virtual therapy in Farmington Hills and Trenton, Michigan, because all those keywords are going to add up to help you rank. And if you think that's slimy, I don't know, maybe someone wants to know about virtual therapy and they see that question there and they don't have to ask it themselves and wait for an answer. So to me, it's just more information that you're putting out there. And I want you to think of AMCAP, as much content as possible. The more that Google sees about your business, the more it's going to get to know you and the higher it's going to rank you. Just like I'm going to rank one of my friend therapists or refer one of my friend therapists to someone before I refer some stranger who, sent me a flyer in the mail because I don't know them personally. So help Google get to know you personally. And these should not be one-time actions. And yes, I know the B is missing. Like I said, this needs to be done over and over again when you can, but it needs to be done. This is the bread and butter. So if you click on your Google business page, you'll see these buttons where you can edit profile, photos, performance, products, services. How many of you are kind of familiar with this? Okay. So make sure you can go into services and there's so many spots that you can add. You can even add products. I say, psychotherapy, couples therapy, kids therapy. You can add it as a product just to have any more content. If you offer an ebook or EMDR or course, you can add all those as separate products that people can see on your Google business page. So the analytics, I go on business manager performance. They kind of make it difficult to see, but if you scroll all the way down, you can see what people are searching to find you, and you can start incorporating those keywords into your social media post, your website, recycle it back into your Google page. Here's what mine looks like. So Google business page, we link our Instagram to our Google page. It doesn't post automatically, but I have my office admin screenshot our Instagram post and then repost them on our Google page. And we do that twice a week. You want to show Google that you are active and open for business, okay? I'm sure you feel that way when you look at businesses that you're finding for yourself, where just the more attractive they are online and their Google page, the more likely you are to choose them. And social media, so we are active on social media, but I wasn't always active. If you don't have time to do all of that, I recommend creating a social media account anyway for each platform. The only one I don't have is TikTok because I don't like TikTok. But I have LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, X, Pinterest. We've posted, but just to have those icons and widgets on your Google profile is going to tell Google that you have a more vast online presence. And a lot of times you can auto-connect all of those platforms to post the same thing. If you have someone who can help with tech and if you post once every 6 months, you could have them auto-post on all those platforms. So that's very important to have that on your profile. All right, now I want to go over some website tips. Now, this is different if you do your website yourself versus if you have someone do your website where you don't really have access to it. So this is more catered to people who do their website, or if you can work with someone who does your website to go over a couple of these things. One of my favorites is original images versus stock images. If Google crawls all these websites and 19 therapy pages have all the same stock photo, but you have an original photo of your office on your homepage, that's in your favor for Google. You want to be Google's favorite. We are brown-nosing to Google as much as we can so they can refer us to the general public for the services, of course, that we want to provide. And so how I do that is we've taken pictures of the offices and we posted them on the website. We I take pictures of, an outfit or coffee on the table, and anything that you can do, therapist headshots, pictures of the inside of the building, outside of the building, posting those on your website. Okay, listing your social media accounts on there. Deleting zombie pages is a big thing on your website, because if you have old, outdated pages, that's going to be a strike against you for Google. So if you haven't redone your website in a while, kind of do a spring cleaning. Make sure that there's not outdated therapist bios on there. It's vibrant, it's fresh. There's not old information. There's not a picture of you from 5 years ago that doesn't look like you anymore. Just continually purging, and that can take if you dedicate 20 minutes a week, okay, let me just go in and maybe delete a page or add a page with content, add a specialty page. And I guess the last one I'll go over is embedding maps. Again, Google has already verified you as a trusted business. If you embed their map into your website, it's just another way of showing Google that, hey, I'm genuine, I'm valuable, I'm trustworthy, and that's really the goal. So if your website is made from solely AI content, it really is working against you. You want to go through and make it sound human and genuine, because Google is going to like that better than fancy therapy speak from ChatGPT. And of course, simple, modern, easy. And really quick, the vulnerability piece, us therapists, we're so used to being on the other side of the couch that we're not really forced to be vulnerable, right? We're always helping other people be vulnerable. So marketing to me is one of those things where I want therapists to embrace that vulnerability and embrace doing something new and putting yourself out there, and use your therapist skills, use rapport building. You guys already have what it takes to do all of these things that I said, especially making those connections. So think of the skills you already have and how you can implement that into networking and even your social media. And then, of course, my favorite one that got messed up is effort. These things don't happen unless you do them. So let's get to it, right? Let's do something new. And that's what I want to challenge you with today. What is one belief or mindset that has held you back from marketing with more tenacity? And what is one new marketing step that you can commit to trying right now without the burden of trying to do everything at once that I just said? Okay? Because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So let's do it. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us and listening to our speakers from the Group Practice Conference 2025. We are so excited to have you join us there. Make sure you put on your calendars Black Friday. That's when tickets open up. We want to make sure that you grab that ticket right away. We are so excited to be hosting this here in Traverse City. Also, we couldn't do this show without our sponsors, and whether you're onboarding new hires, expanding your telehealth reach, or planning to grow into new states, a Finer Framework helps you out. You can take all those headaches out if you just head on over to afinerframework.org/Joe Sanok. Today, you can learn more. That's afinerframework.org/Joe Sanok. They make licensing support simple. Thank you for letting me into your ears and into your brain. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Special thanks to the band Silence is Sexy for that intro music, and this podcast is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regard to the subject matter covered. It is given with the understanding that neither the host, the producers, the publishers, or guests are rendering legal, accounting, clinical, or other professional information. If you want a professional, you should find one.